Okay, so today here's a tutorial to help you create your HTML pages in Web 1. This is in regards to Web Design 2.09, designing your web pages. Now I asked you to print the page. You don't have to. You can copy and paste. You can bookmark it. But the idea is that you'll keep these things in mind as you create your web page. You're going to start by applying some basic skills, focusing on color consistency, font, and layout. You want to make sure that you choose a font and color that's easy to read and print. And for web, we're going to use a sans serif font. We're not going to go crazy with colors. You're going to pick a basic theme and run with that. Since this is a research type website, you're going to select a light background color with a dark contrasting font color. You want to focus on pages that have an eye-catching design, or at least a nice professional layout, and think about using horizontal lines and bulleted lists if you are so inclined, if you have that kind of information. Do not underline anything unless it's a link to another page or site. And now I'll walk through the task. Alright, so what it's asking you to do here, and you're going to have to read through these things yourself. I'm just here to help you supplement the reading part with a little demo. So in Composer, you're going to create a new file. Click on New and do a File, Save As. And when you do, it will prompt you to give it a title. Now this is the title of the web page as it appears on the web, so you're going to call it Snapshots in Time 1900 _39. Alright, and here it's prompting you to give it a file name. So you want to make sure it goes into your web design folder. I'll just make a new folder, web design. And you should have one called Snapshots. And we will create a new folder called HTML, because you know that's where it's going to go. This is going to be 1900 to 1939, so you're going to just call it 1900 _39. Click on Save, and now you've given your page a title and you've given it a file name. The next thing you need to do is paste the content. So here's what I wrote. I'm going to take it and do a Control-C for copy. I'm going to paste it into my Composer, Control-V for paste. And here's what I recommend. Now, for all of you, the first time you paste it in, it's going to show up with a sans serif font, and you don't want a serif font. So go to Tools, Preferences, click on Fonts, and change the proportional to sans serif. Then everything you do by default will be sans serif. Because I didn't do that in advance, I'm going to select everything and go over here and make sure that my font is Helvetica Arial. Done. Now you're ready to make your page into a web page. So you're going to start by adding a title. So I'm going to click on Enter and then click up here, and I'm going to call this Snapshots in Entertainment 1900 through 1939. I'm going to highlight it and make this a heading 1. Now I have my title. And I showed you in a previous tutorial that you're moving the questions, what changes or what activity or what event took place, and you're making a header, because this is actually an informational website, so it's not going to be a question. You're not publishing homework, you're creating a website. So I changed the question into a header, and now I'm going to highlight it, but instead of heading 1, I'm going to change this to like a heading 2 or even a heading 3. I like the heading 1 as my title and a heading 3 for my subtitles, so I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to go throughout, and then I'm going to have to work on spacing, because you have to make sure your spacing is consistent. And change this to Advances and Entertainment, and I'll highlight this and make it a heading 3. making sure that my spacing stays consistent throughout. All right, looks like I have a bulleted list here. And I'll just highlight it and I'll make bullets. Now you could go an extra step and make your dates bold. So you want to go through that and make that consistent. I'm going to change this to a header, interview of the era. Again, changing the question to a heading. Heading 3, fix my spacing. I'm going to go down here, reporting on the event. As you can see, I'm not much of a creative thinker on the fly, so you're going to have to be a little more creative than I when making your headings. And I'm going to change this as well to a heading 3, keeping my spacing consistent. You'd want to make sure that all your spacing was consistent. I think that a block style works best, so I would probably change all this to block style and not even have the paragraphs. And again, that's up to you as long as you stay consistent. Finally, making use of horizontal line might be here. I might want to click on Insert Horizontal Line to separate my content from my sources. And in this section, I do not have to hyperlink for 2.09, but just so you know, later you will. So if you highlight a web URL and you click on link, it will automatically make it a hyperlink. I would always recommend that you choose link to be opened in a new window, which would open it in a new tab for tab browsing. And that way your page will still stay present in a previous tab. Once you have this done, you can go ahead and work on color scheme. So if you do want to make a page background, you click on Format, Page Colors, and Background, and you can customize the colors of the text, the link text, the active link text, and the background. Keeping in mind that, again, you're making a page that is for education that might be printed out as a resource, so you don't want to create something with a dark background. You want to create something with a light background and contrasting text. So that's how you would make your website, or web page I should say, for 2.09. This is the bare minimum, mind you. You have the ability to read through the tutorials and go a step further. Let me just save this and we'll go ahead and view it so you can see what it looks like on the web. And if I open it up now, because you just copied and pasted the text on the page, it'll open up the browser and it will take the shape of the width of the browser. So if I'm viewing this on a very large screen, it's going to roll with the screen. It's going to go edge to edge. That might be what you prefer. You could take it a step further and you can use an invisible table. So keep watching if you want to learn this technique. I could take everything I have on my page, I can do a Control X and cut it out, and then I can insert a table. It only needs to be one cell, and I can double click on it and I can change the table to take up, let's say, 75% of the window with no border, so nobody has to know there's even a table there. Align it center, click OK, and paste my text in. Now my website will be centered on any screen, big or small, and it will take up 75% of the screen, leaving a margin to the right and the left. If I save that and now open my file, you can see that it looks very different on the screen. I do encourage the use of the invisible table to help shape the formatting of your website. Alright, so I think you have enough information to get yourself started and completed with 2.09. Be sure that you go to the assessment area before you decide that your web pages are ready to pass in, focusing on consistency of indenting, spacing, and overall design. Remember, consistency is key. The color scheme adhering to the principles learned in 2.03. That you format your text properly, that your spelling is correct, and that you've corrected all previous errors from Module 1. This means no spelling, no capitalization errors, and all your sources are present. Make sure you make use of headings. Heading 1, it makes a great choice for title. Heading 3 for subtitles. Be consistent and submit as an HTML file. As long as you meet all these criteria, you'll earn a perfect score and have all of your pages ready to become a website in Module 3. Thank you very much.